So hello and good morning from Buffalo. Scott Belford here with the walk-up. I know we don't normally do a podcast on Wednesday, but there's been some stuff going on in the baseball world that I just wanted to talk about. Number one, obviously, I got to witness a hell of a pitching performance from Yariel Rodriguez last night that I just couldn't not ramble on a bit to somebody. So you are the somebodies out there, grounds crew, and I had to update you on where he is at, and it is exciting stuff. Cavin Bigio to the Dodgers. What? Had to bring up the fact that it's pretty cool to see him turn down an assignment to AAA and then be given an opportunity to, let's be serious, win a World Series ring. And then a big win yesterday from the Milwaukee Brewers. So let's start with that. 3-0 over Milwaukee. Tied that series up, going for a series victory today in Milwaukee before coming back to Toronto to start a homestand. And I'm going to tell you right now, this team is so frustrating at points. I saw a stat. Listen to this. Listen to this. The Toronto Blue Jays are 32-10 when they score 3 or more runs. Just three or more. 78% win percentage when they put 3 wins on the board. More than a third of the league scores 4.5 runs or more a game. The Jays are right around that 3.8, 3.9 mark and allow, or I should say, score 1 or fewer, so 1 or no runs more than almost any other team in Major League Baseball. So, I mean, more of the same. We already know the problems with the Blue Jays, but huge win yesterday, and they are going for a series win now over a team that is at the top of the NL Central. The Brewers are no slouch. So, fingers crossed, go Blue Jays. Score at least 3 runs, guys. You're probably going to win if you do. So relying on offense has not worked so far, but my God, if 3 runs is offense, where are we at, Jays fans? It's just wild. Okay, this is really why I wanted to record the podcast, though. We'll talk Cavin first, actually, before I start rambling on about Yariel Rodriguez and one of the best pitching performances I've ever got to watch live. So Cavin Bigio denies his assignment to Buffalo when the Blue Jays optioned him down, which made him available on waivers, right? He was DFA'd. His choice, which basically means there's 29 other teams that take a look and are like, can we work out some sort of trade with the Toronto Blue Jays? And surprisingly enough, it was the Los Angeles Dodgers that did it. This is from Jeff Passan. Los Angeles Dodgers are acquiring super utility man Cavin Bigio in a trade from the Toronto Blue Jays. Bigio, 29 years old, was designated for assignment by the Blue Jays last week. He's hitting 200, a 323 on base, and a 291 slug. Those numbers are why the Jays cleared him out to make some room for Spencer Horwitz. His career, though, is 227 batting average, 343 on base, and a 382 slug. He's definitely slugged better throughout his career than he has this season. Now, who are we getting? Everyone was kind of joking, cash considerations. Well, they are actually getting a player in return. Right-handed reliever Braden Fisher headed to the Blue Jays for Cavin Bigio. He has split his time between AA and AAA this season and has an ERA of 5.68. Not too impressive. And 30 strikeouts with 15 walks in 19 innings and a fastball that sits low to mid 90s. You can tell his strikeout rate is pretty impressive. He does walk a lot of guys, and he's a reliever that is in AAA/AA with a 5.68 ERA. So this is the lottery ticket, folks. This is hoping that maybe, the pitching staff in the Toronto organization can take a look at the guy and maybe tweak something and they can get something out of him. We'll see. I mean, you always need depth with pitching. I guess it's better than nothing. And that's pretty much how we got to look at it. I mean, he was DFA'd, so they received something for Cavin Bigio. Okay. Now we're going to get into it here. Covering the Buffalo Bisons last night was awesome. The Bisons wound up being down 2-1, and then in the bottom of the eighth, Aurelvis Martinez with Addison Barger on second base drives in his 44th RBI of the year, scoring Barger to tie the game up. And then in the bottom of the ninth, the team walks it off, and in the most exciting fashion possible. So Cam Eden, their speedster, he has 21 stolen bases on the year in Buffalo. He's on second base. Stuart Baroa, who I am going to talk more about here in the coming week or two because he is really impressing right now at AAA Buffalo. But he took a walk. So 2 outs, runners on first and second, Addison Barger at the plate. He hits a little scribbler up the third base line. Eden scores from second, and Addison just beat it out. So an RBI on an infield single. But what was really impressive about last night was Yariel Rodriguez, who, believe me, is probably going to be getting the call up back to Toronto in the next day or two, and probably going to be filling in for Alek Manoah for the rest of the season. Now, obviously, there's going to be an innings limit on Yariel. They're going to need to keep an eye on him, and we're going to see a bunch of piggybacking between him and Francis Bowden. Bowden Francis. I love switching those two up. My brain doesn't work sometimes. But anyways, they'll do the piggyback in there. But last night, and I will preface this with, I'm well aware that this is AAA. However, the pitching performance was from Yariel Rodriguez last night was truly one of the most impressive things I've seen live in my entire baseball fandom. The guy struck out 10 of the 12 outs that he got. He was dominant in every way. The thing that impressed me the most was he was varying his speeds and his fastball to a point that was just baffling hitters. He would throw it in there at 91, 92, and then, to quote Casey Candell, manager of the Bisons, he'd hump it up all the way to 95 or 96 and blow stuff by them. He was moving it all over the strike zone. His breaking stuff was incredible. He was hitting the zone with his cutter, and his curveball, folks, was a weapon. The way that he deployed it, and in the counts that he deployed it, hitters couldn't see it coming. He was dropping it in there for strike 3 at times after everyone was expecting him to go to a cutter or a fastball. 10 strikeouts out of the 12 outs. 4 innings pitched. He hit 67 pitches, and pretty exciting stuff. This is obviously a dude that they signed for 5 years. So your fingers are crossed that they really can develop him into a full-time starting pitcher. He, of course, pitched in Japan in 2022 and was a reliever for the majority of that. He was transferred to Cuba to play in the WBC. He started with Cuba, and then he pretty much defected. Well, not from Cuba, but pretty much bailed, I should say. Defected is the wrong word, but bailed on his Japanese team, breaking the contract, and then was later released, allowing him to go to free agency, which is how the Jays picked him up. But 27 years old and looking incredible. I'm going to end this video with a little snippet. I got to talk with Casey Candell, again, manager of the Buffalo Bisons, last night after the game and the press conference, and just wanted to put a snippet of what he had to say about Yariel to end this things off. We're going to call it there. Had to get a video out. Thank you so much for following along, Grounds crew. We will see you on Friday, back at it. Tomorrow, we'll see. I did have an interview with Adam Macko on Monday. He is AA pitcher, out of Canada. He's actually the number 2 pitching prospect, left-handed pitching prospect in this organization right now, behind Ricky Tiedemann. And if he keeps this up, it's probably going to get bumped into the top 5 prospects in the organization. The guy is killing it right now. Won pitcher of the week last week in AA. and probably going to get a call up to AAA Buffalo here where I'll be able to cover him and bring you more information on him, but should be releasing that hopefully tomorrow. If not, watch for it next week early. And on that note, take care of yourselves, everybody, and we will see you on Friday. Enjoy Casey Candel.
You did touch on it, but that performance by Yariel Rodriguez was incredibly impressive. 10 Ks over 4 innings. I'm guessing he accomplished everything you guys wanted him checking boxes to do.
Yeah, not quite, but no.
Yeah, could have had 12.
No, Ks. yeah, it could have been perfect. No, it was very impressive. I mean, I think the one inning he was one foul ball away from an immaculate inning, but he landed his breaking ball. His split was working, and then he humped up on his heater when he needed to, and used his cutter. So he used all his pitches effectively. He threw them all for strikes, and he did an outstanding job. I mean, he worked out of some trouble in the first inning, which was also impressive. And the way that he worked the next 3 innings, we thought maybe he just wanted to get his pitch count up in the first inning and then get some work in. So he did a great job.